Welcome, thanks a lot for hitting on the playlist. In this playlist, guys, we're going to be taking you through everything you need to know to get yourself started on SoRare so you can actually start acquiring cards, being competitive in tournaments, doing trades, making profit, trading Ethereum. We're going to be covering all of that stuff, okay? If at any point you do enjoy the content, I would appreciate you smashing that like button for me. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, then by all means, please do. It means a lot to me. And if you have any comments, questions, thoughts, or anything, just drop them in the comment section. I get back to everyone who comments on the videos as best I possibly can anyway. It's very rare I've never got back to a comment. In the description of each video, you'll have the links so you can get all the free stuff that you can get your hands on to actually get started with SoRare, whether it be your Coinbase account to get yourself some free coin, or whether it be the account itself to get your free starter 10 commons and your bonus rare when you join. If you have any, as I say, any comments, questions, thoughts, anything at all, guys, just drop them in the comment section below. I hope you enjoy the content. It is for you, and let's get stuck into it. Okay, so we're getting started now. When you hit the link down below in the comment section to join SoRare, you'll get 10 free common cards, okay? The way you choose them is through like draft, FIFA Ultimate Team kind of style. You get a £400 million budget. I'll give you a selection of cards and you spend your budget as you see fit. I strongly recommend you take every goalkeeper you can possibly get your hands on, especially ones that start, and especially if any of them are under 23 and start. Even though they're common, and we'll come to the power and all that kind of thing a wee bit later on, but having them is so much more valuable than not having them, believe me, because your common cards outside the goalkeepers, and maybe if you're lucky enough to get somebody like a Ronaldo or something like that, they are not going to last you too long. They're just there to get you up on your feet, get you through a few tournaments, because your commons, you can use them for 4 rookie tournaments, and the rookie tournaments are common cards only, so you're only against other newbies like yourself. If you finish in the top 3 places in that tournament, you get rare cards as the prizes, so it can really help you get started, okay? By hitting that link in the comment section down below, or the description I should say, once you have acquired 5 rares from the market, you've bought 5 rares, you'll get a free one, okay? There's a little process to activate that, where you basically need to, so you need to join the Discord and then fill in a little form. It takes 30 seconds. Once you've hit the criteria, just saying who you are and who referred you, and then they get you your free rare and sort you out, all that kind of stuff. It's dead easy. On top of that, what you're also going to need, because acquiring cards is done by Ethereum, so there's 2 ways you can do it. You can do this, right? On the transfer market, you can just bid directly from your bank card. You do not need to have any method of acquiring cards to buy anything, okay? Now, so I can just, these auctions are all finished. Let me show you a wee example. So when I hit place bid, I can bid with my card, or I can bid in Ethereum, and it's down to me, okay? So you can do it with your card. Now your card, the charges you will incur for doing it on your card is basically the exchange rate conversion into euros that your card will charge you. In the description down below of this video, there will be a refer a friend link to Monzo. Monzo's the account I use. I've had Monzo for about 2 or 3 years. It's a prepaid MasterCard, and the charge on converting from pounds to euros is like nothing, you know. Like I can't think of a transaction off the top of my head, but I did one when this facility on SoRare first came out, and I think the charge was like 4 pence, and this was on like a £80 transaction or something like that. You know, it is minuscule. By hitting that refer a friend link, what it does is it queue jumps you. Monzo used to do the refer a friend that you get a fiver, I get a fiver, but last year at some point that ended. So now all the refer a friend thing does is kind of queue jump you because of all the backlog down to COVID and whatever. The other way of going about it is actually opening up an account with somebody like Coinbase, and there's a bunch of other competitors. The reason I like Coinbase is because there's a referral link down there where me and you would both get like £8 worth of Bitcoin if you open with that link, and then once you put £80 through it, it's basically a kind of little 10% rebate or so. So I like that for the fact that I get a free 7-8 quid, you get a free 7 or 8 quid, and the thing with Ethereum, so when you buy the coin, if I buy the coin right now, I'm acquiring a full coin for £267.26, okay? As you can see, the price does fluctuate. This is the last 24 hours. If we zoom out and look at the month, so it's been as high as £350. When I started, it was like £185. It feels quite stable, as much as a cryptocurrency can. If you have no experience in cryptocurrency before this, like me, I highly recommend you do a bit of research on crypto, exactly what's involved, check out Ethereum, do your due do your due diligence. You would be crazy not to, okay? What I normally recommend to folk is only deposit what you can afford, of course, but because when you're buying the coin, and there's a video that will be next in the playlist to this, when it's me on my phone showing you how to buy the coin and put it in your wallet, okay? But when you do that, you will incur a few mining fees. It's like £3 here, £2 there, depends on the volume and that kind of thing. So part of the reason I was like recommending this to folk is that's £7 or £8 of Bitcoin that you get for hitting that link. The first amount that you put in, that pretty much covers your transaction costs in terms of getting the coin into the wallet. So you can pretty much do that free of charge with the bonus coin that you get from hitting the link in the description down below. Now, if I buy a coin today at £267 because I like the price of the coin, I don't need to buy anything on SoRare with it. I can even just leave it in my coin wallet. I don't need to put it in my SoRare wallet. And then, you know, when the coin goes up to $300 or £300 or whatever, then my coin still only cost me £260, so I can then step into the market with a bit more weight, a bit more power, which is why I like this method better, especially when the coin is on a backward slump. I love buying the coin when it's going backwards because I know from the 3 months I've been on it, it does swing up and down quite often, and when you've got your finger on the pulse with the price of it, where you bought at and where you're then trying to convert that for from coin into card, you can do very, very well on transactions on that alone. But when the coin is nice and low, there's nothing wrong at all with just doing it via your card. Absolutely nothing at all. The next thing you're going to need is a SoRare Data account. Now this is 100% free for every feature that you will find on this website, okay? In short, what it's best for is showing you average prices of players, how much has been circulating. So let's just try and find a decent example. If we can find, it's a lot of J League players up there now. I'm not too big into my J League, so I don't know who's a good example to pull out the hat for this. Let's just click on this guy. We've clicked on somebody, I don't know who. So we've got this guy here, Kazunari Ono. Okay, so if we view the card, what it's going to give us is a breakdown of his average price for the last 7 days, the last week, the last month, that kind of thing. Wrong button. Yeah, so as you can see here, this guy gives you his last 5, see L15, L5, L40, that's their average score on the matrix, which is about to get a wee revamp. And again, SoRare Data, all they do is an API, they just pull all the data straight out of SoRare. So as soon as that's updated, this will be updated not long after. But you can see the 3-day average, there's been no sales, no transactions on this card. The 2-week average is where it's at, and the 1-month average is where it's at. Best offer on the market. So that is one manager offering him out for someone else to buy him, is the market price, if that makes sense. So SoRare Data is very, very valuable for you to help gauge what is a suitable price for a card, especially when you're brand new, okay? Now, on top of all this, you do have manager sales, okay? So IPOs here are all the cards when they're brand new, no one's owned them before, and this is your chance to buy them, and you can buy them in any of the ways we've just discussed, okay? On top of that, you've also got the manager sales, so that's when I want to sell something, you want to sell something, and then you try and get matched up with a buyer, okay? Now, if you were to buy from the manager sales from your card, I believe there's still a 10% surcharge on that. But if you're to buy with coin, there's no charge at all. Okay, so again, having coin in the wallet gives you the most power, especially when you're buying the coin on it down, especially if you're going into the secondary market. Okay. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of info, and then I'm going to give you a wee hint, a wee tip. Okay, so in my gallery at the moment we have, I think, 77 cards. The vast majority of them, all but 3, I think, are rare. Okay, now one thing I've realised is the rare cards, because you get 100 of them every season, and there'll be another 100 next season and another 100 the season after, rares can lose some value relatively quickly. That has to be said, that has to be known, because there's just 100 of them. There's much more that will be in circulation, you know. So especially when you're buying from the secondary market, please tread carefully and make sure you're getting a price that you're happy with, because that is ultimately what the price is down to, is if you're happy to buy it. And if you're not happy, then you don't buy. The super rares and the uniques are much more like assets, because they're much more limited, much more powerful, and much more capable of winning bigger prizes. So if you are after like a Cherokee, or, you know, these types of guys, you know, Adelaide Ayushi and all the kind of Wonder Kid players, having them as a rare card is not going to be too cheap for you, right? But if you're doing it to buy to flip, what you're kind of trading on is one of two things. They either get transferred from the club that you've got them at, let's say it's Cherokee Leon, and he gets transferred to a currently non-licensed club on the platform, because then you know the circulation is going to go finite until such time that they license the club that the player is at. So you can work it with that way as well. The second thing is say if you are like looking to acquire assets and borderline investments for this kind of thing, then it really has to be unique and super rares as a minimum, because the rares, unless it is something like an Alexander Sorloth where there's only 4 rares in circulation, those things are as good as being SRs, super rares, you know, in terms of eventual power and, you know, all that kind of stuff, because there's only 4 of them available, you know. You can click into each card and you can actually see how much is in circulation. So Yusuf Badji, I really wanted number 1 of him. I just really wanted him as soon as he came out. But there's not too many of him because he's quite new. So if we have a look, there's a nice wee summary at the bottom here. So you can see upcoming games, their score in the last match, what was built up on that score, their form. You can see absolutely everything, which is great. But at the moment, there's only 6 rares, 1 super rare and 1 unique. So you know what the circulation is on each card, which should also be a barometer on how you price things, okay? The very first thing I would tell you to do, once you've done what we've spoken about in this video and you've got everything firing, you've got an account that doesn't charge me too much if I want to do straight card transactions, I've got my coin account. Actually, just before I give you my little tip, my little hint, if you want to withdraw, you will need something like a Coinbase to actually withdraw your money from the platform through sales and from profit and whatever. You will need a mechanism of exit, and you will need something like a Coinbase. You will need some sort of coin wallet to take the Ethereum out of SoRare and then sell it onto the market for whatever price you want to sell the Ethereum for when you get to that. Now, what I would say the very first thing you should be doing is you should be hitting this search bar and you should be looking for every player that you like the look of on Football Index, on Footstock, in general, Football Manager, FIFA, anything at all. And I'm just trying to think of a decent example. Well, what I'll do, right, is I'll just actually show you the top of it. So if I look at my favourites, I've got 109 players in there. Okay, now the reason this is important is because this tab here is actually going to become, so I've got my favourite players, 109 of them, right? When I come into the transfer market, whether I'm going on the actual IPOs, the brand new cards, or whether I want to go into the manager sales, what I can do at the click of a button is I can filter by favourites. So as you can see here down the left, favourites, only favourites, and then what this does is it only shows me cards that I've got listed as a favourite for whatever reason it might be. So because there's so many cards and so many players that you probably don't even know, when you're just hunting through the IPOs, you know, the auction section, it's very easy to get lost and maybe even just impulse buy something you kind of regret or you probably shouldn't have done. Whereas if you do this from the start, build your favourite list up as much as you possibly can, and then by all means look at the open market, look at everything that's there, do different filters and different searches and whatever. But when you're getting down to brass tacks and you're like, right, I need a goalkeeper today, or right, I need an SR, then you just hit that favourites tab and you can just see dead easily I've only actually got 3 that are on the market at the moment for IPO: Sergi Samper, Kaisuke Osako and Langarak. But it just helps focus the mind, focus your efforts, because as much as I've got 77 cards and there's other people on this that have hundreds and thousands of cards, not everyone's got the budget for that. Every purchase needs to be calculated. Take your time, trust me, you're not going to miss out on much, if anything. And yeah, that's us getting started, guys. Excellent. Like, subscribe, share, retweet, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care. Bye bye.